Hello, Catherine.
Hello,
It's
Lynn.
It's good to see you, albeit in the virtual world. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, Lynn. How are
Good.
you?
I'm fine, thanks. Yes. Here we are, 12 months into your time with netporter.com. What a quick year it's been. Can't believe it's almost September already.
No.
Hard to believe. Did you manage to get away for a break over summertime?
Yes, thanks. I went glamping in Yorkshire. It was really nice. I've never done that before, so it was a nice change. Nice break.
Definitely, that sounds great. Glamping sounds great. Glad to hear you managed to get away. I think a lot of people have really enjoyed their staycations this year and not been able to go abroad, but I think a lot of people have enjoyed just staying in the UK. Did you have good weather?
Yes, it was lovely weather. I think we only had one day that was a bit wet, but it was still just nice just to sit and relax and sit and read a book in the glamping pod. That was good.
Lovely. A good opportunity to wind down after all your hard work. So just before we begin, Catherine, I just wanted to make it clear what the aims and objectives are today of your review meeting. The main purpose of this annual appraisal is just to reflect on the progress that you've made over your 12 months, discuss your KPIs, what's gone well for you, what hasn't gone so well for you, and any steps you can take to help you with your own development, and how we can discuss where you see yourself progressing and how we can support you going forward to meet your own goals for progression within NetPorter, and also what objectives or training and development we can put in place for you to progress you as you wish. It's also a great opportunity for you to tell me about any issues that you've encountered, any problems that you're having, any challenges that you've faced in your first 12 months as well. So first of all, Catherine, can you tell me how you feel has gone well in the first 12 months here?
Well, I'd say the first, I was pleased to successfully complete my 3-month probation period, so I was pleased with that. I feel that I did pick things up quite quickly, and I met all my, and exceeded even my KPIs in the first 12 months, so I am really pleased with that. I didn't particularly do well in months 9 and 10, exceeding my orders picked per hour targets on both these months by well over 20%.
Yeah, I agree. Months 9 and 10 did go particularly well for you in that area. Can you tell me why you think those months went so well for you?
I think those were good months for me in that area, because I had a better understanding then of the role that I was doing and what was expected of me. I also had some coaching from my team leader to help me, especially with using the RF scanners more effectively. And this really helped me be more efficient with my picking times. So I was able to pick more or less on time.
Excellent, that's good to hear. I'm glad that you felt the coaching helped from your team leader. I'm glad to hear that you've had that coaching as well, and it's definitely reflected in your figures from months 9 and 10. Really well done there. I did notice that the months after that, 11 and 12, that tailed off slightly. So more recently it's tailed off, and although you still exceeded your KPIs, which is excellent, well done, your performance dipped a bit, and I just wondered if there was a reason you feel that might have happened, why that might have happened, that slight drop off in your excellent performance in 9 and 10.
Well, to be honest, Lynn, I did have quite a lot on my plate at home in those last couple of months, so that's probably the reason for that.
Right, I'm really sorry to hear about that, Catherine. Is there anything you'd like to talk about there? Perhaps I can help you in some way.
Well, my mum hasn't been very well recently, and I've actually she's been staying with me, so I have to get up a lot in the night just to check on her and make sure that she's had her medication. And obviously this job is quite a strenuous job anyway. So it's all been quite exhausting, really. I've been quite tired, so that's maybe the reason.
Sorry to hear that, Catherine. And how is your mum doing now?
She's on the mend now, yeah, she's doing much better. We're hoping that she's going to be able to move out in the next month or so back into her own home, and hopefully she'll be back to her usual self again then.
Brilliant, that's great. I'm glad to hear that, and I'm sorry that you've been going through that. Well done for managing to exceed your KPIs despite having to deal with all that in your personal life. I'm looking forward to seeing you performing again to the high standard that you've achieved in months 9 and 10, but please let me or your team leader know if there's anything we can do to support you until your mum's back to full health. I noticed that your own sickness absence has been quite high. Is that something to do maybe with the situation that you've been facing at home?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. It's just I have been, as I say, I've been really tired getting up through the night, and it's just been difficult to function some days. I've found it. I'm hoping this will be resolved though too once she's back to full health. I just felt so tired and stressed from trying to juggle everything.
And it is a physical job, so it's understandable that you felt that way. Are you aware of our flexible working policy, Catherine?
No, I've not heard anything.
It might be something to think about. If you felt you were unable to start early in the morning, if you've had, all that to deal with at home, it might be an idea to start perhaps later in the day and end your working day a bit later to help you address that. We could offer you a trial of that for 3 months, if you like, just to see if it suited you better.
That sounds great, thank you. It's definitely worth giving it a try. Hopefully things are going to be back to normal within 3 months though.
Well, that's it, because what we could do, it could work well for everybody. It might work, it may be a win-win situation for everybody involved, really. I can discuss that further with your team leader after our meeting today, following this appraisal, but I would like you to consider it, at least in the meantime, because, as I say, it could be a win-win for everyone. And I'm really keen for everybody in the team to reach the benchmark of best in class, which is the Institute of Logistics benchmark. And I want to do everything I can to support you to achieve that benchmark in your KPIs. And I'm really confident, because of your figures in the first 12 months, I'm really confident that you will be able to reach that. And I want the whole team to achieve that if possible. And I really want to support you to achieve that. Speaking of the team, how are you settling in the team now?
Well, unfortunately, I have to say, when I first joined, I didn't feel very welcomed into the team. They've been on a few nights out and they haven't asked me along. I might not have been able to go because of my mum, but it would have been nice if they had asked me.
Sorry, I agree, and I'm sorry to hear that, Catherine. Can you just tell me a bit more about how you felt about that?
It made me feel a bit left out, didn't feel part of the team. And if I'm honest, that's why I behaved in the way I did towards the member of staff who raised the grievance against me.
That's fine. Right, okay, that's understandable. So I know that that grievance was obviously a big setback for you, but I know that, as I haven't spoken to your team leader, you have been working together to try and resolve that those issues with that member of staff. How's that going?
I mean, I felt left out. I felt that a member of staff had really turned some of the others against me, and the others had stopped. They were stopping people from asking me along to things. Obviously, I had to speak to them on a daily basis, and that's perhaps why I was a bit blunt with them. It was just the way I was feeling. I think after that, things are much better. I can't say that we're great friends, but we're getting along okay now, and I feel we can work well together.
Great. Well, I'm glad to hear that things are improving and you're managing to get along. That's good. What can we do to try and improve your relationships within the team overall, do you think?
I'm not really sure. There's a couple of people who are really nice and they do include me in things when they can. One of them is a team leader on another team, Susan.
Yeah, Susan well.
She's good friends outside of work with quite a few people in my team. So I don't know if that's something.
That's really interesting that you say that, because I know that you've also mentioned before that you're interested in progressing to be a team leader and a team leader role with NetPorter. So how would you feel about buddying up with Susan? She's actually one of our best performing team leaders, and everyone in her team is currently meeting the best in class benchmark. So she might be able to help you improve your performance within the team, but also she could offer you some coaching and mentoring with the team leader role.
Great.
Excellent, that's good. Just going to write that down. She's also involved in charity fundraising events, so she's always grateful for volunteers, I know, for helping with the fundraising events, but that might help improve your relationships, because I know she's got people from across the organisation, from various teams, including your current team, who might be, that might be a good way of helping to integrate you within the team.
Yeah, that sounds good, thank you.
And they're also, I know you've got your commitments at home, but a lot of the charity events, the bake sales and things like that happen at lunchtime. So hopefully it wouldn't interfere too much with your commitments at home at the moment, what do you think?
Yep, that would be great.
Brilliant. I'll be sure to speak to Susan following the meeting today just to discuss that further, but I'm sure she'll be happy to support you. She's a very supportive team leader, and I know that she'll definitely be happy to have you on board with the charity fundraising as well. So where do you see yourself going in the next 12 months then?
I would like to be ready in the next 12 months to move into a team leader role. That is really what I would like.
Excellent.
My aim.
So do you think that coaching then, what do you think that you need to in order to achieve that?
Well, I think it would give me a good understanding of the operations. It's more, sorry, I've got a good understanding of the operations, but I feel that would help me more in the managing and the leading people side of things, because that's where I would say I do need that support, so that would help with that.
I agree with that. I think if we got Susan to mentor and coach you with the management leadership skills, because you're doing well in your KPIs, just need to try and make that, get that back to that high performance that you had in months 9 and 10. And if Susan was there to help and mentor and coach you in the leadership side of things, I think that you would definitely be ready for that move. Would you agree with that? Yeah,
definitely.
Brilliant. In addition to the coaching and mentoring, if leadership's the way that you want to go, team leader role's the way you want to go, there is could be an opportunity for you to complete a leadership training course. So that's a course that we offer to people who've met the best in class benchmark for, you need to achieve that for at least 6 months in a row. And then that way I'm able to recommend you for the course once you've achieved that benchmark consistently. So that'd be something that would interest you?
Yes, I'm definitely up for that, and I'm definitely do my best to meet the benchmark.
Brilliant, excellent. So I'm just going to now move on and summarise everything that we've spoken about today. I've just been writing some notes there about the kind of things that we've spoken about. So there's 3 main objectives that we want to try and achieve, I would say. So obviously your sickness absence has been an issue, but now that you've shared that with me, I understand that better. So we want to try and reduce that sickness absence. So we'll agree to if you could agree to the 3-month flexible working trial, I can get that organised with your team leader. I'll arrange that to start next week, basically. So that would take you to the end of November, and we'd measure that success by you having less sickness absence in that 3-month trial period. The next objective would be to try and improve those relationships in your team, and if you can get involved with those charity events whilst you're going through the mentoring and coaching with Susan, that'd be a good introduction to getting involved with those events, and hopefully that will help you with relationships across the organisation, but also in your team. And I think 2 days a week for maybe 6 months with Susan. See how that goes. That sound okay? So that'll be starting again next month, and that would take you to the end of February. We'd measure that through having no further grievances raised, and that would be measured by improved feedback on your relationships across the team from you. So you would tell us how that was going, as well as your team and your team leader. And finally, with regard to your team leader role, your aim to become a team leader in 12 months, if you can meet that best in class benchmark for 6 months in a row, I'll arrange for best in class coaching to come from Susan to help you achieve that. Again, we're looking to start that next month, that coaching for the 6 months, and we'll measure that. Hopefully you'll be able to meet that for 6 months consistently. And then once that's been achieved, I can then recommend you to HR for your approval and leadership course. And that would, if all being well, you could start that leadership course, I would say by the end of April, beginning of May. And that would take you then 6 months to complete that course. So you'd be looking at by the end of October, beginning of November of next year, you'd be looking to complete your leadership course and then apply for the next available team leader role. How does that sound?
Sounds great. I feel so much more positive now, and it's given me something to focus on. Thank you.
That's brilliant. Good. And as I say, there's lots of, as you're aware, there's lots of team leader roles come up. They come up quite regularly. So hopefully the one would tie in with the end. If you reach an end of that course, or maybe even just towards the end of that course, then you can apply. So just to confirm, our next review is in 3 months' time. I'll send an invitation out for that. That's the more formal review. But in the meantime, you can just have regular discussions with your own line manager and also with Susan while you're doing coaching and mentoring with Susan on your progress, and feel free to ask for feedback at any time. If you don't feel that you're receiving enough feedback, enough for your liking, then you just ask for it, and Susan and your team leader, or I can give you it if I'm seeing you working away as well. So that's going to be hopefully in person next time, your more formal review. That'll be in November. And I'll send you an invitation for that today. But in between, just get in touch at any time. Let me know how it's going if you want, and obviously speak to Susan and your team leader along the way as well. Does that sound all right?
That sounds great. Thank you.
Have you got any further questions or comments?
No, I think we've covered.
Brilliant. Well, I just want to say well done again, Catherine, on the achievements that you've made in the last 12 months, especially now knowing your circumstances at home, and I hope your mum gets well soon.
Thank you.
Right. Thanks, Catherine. I'm just going to end the meeting now. Take care. Bye.